Welcome to Art of Soul Living by Davy Creative. I believe we are the artist of life, creating and here to celebrate living soulfully. Tune in to Immerse locally and globally as I journey around the world sharing eco-soul interviews.
Welcome to Art of Soul Living by Davy Creative. Your resident goddess creative, I'm Mishta, and I'm joined by Laura Dubé.
Hello.
Of Femme Plastic and Laura Dubé Photo, and just amazing, beautiful human being. And we're coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. We're actually at the library, y'all, which really excites me because
we're learning, we're educating ourselves, we're being around, I don't know, beautiful people studying.
We've got like a bit of an audience. They don't know they're our audience. So we appreciate their presence and their vibe. So, yes. And how we know each other actually through, of course, different creative projects in a city like this. We have intermingled, and I think the first time I met you was at the Remuse Sustainable Fashion Show in Melbourne Fashion Week last year. And she's walking in the show, as well as also doing the photos for the show. If you guys follow my Instagram, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the photos that she took. And
I've actually got an upcoming shoot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to be shooting with Tamara, I think it's the end of Feb.
Oh,
we're going to be, yeah, so it's going to be the lead up to the next month show.
We're so excited. I'm so excited for the next show. I shot with her in the end of December for her Solstice
I saw.
collection.
It was so beautiful. Those photos of you on Sledge are just like, oh,
so
heaven.
Dreamy. Everything she creates is just amazing. And then afterwards, we worked together on the music video for Maya, for the Blackout music video. And yeah, I just kind of like followed along with bits and pieces of like your journey. And I just feel really grateful that you were able to come.
Oh my God, of course.
Today on this beautiful day. So if you want to do a little intro about yourself.
I'm Laura Dubé. I'm a photographer, makeup artist, and videographer. I'm also an artist, which still feels strange to say, but I'm working on that. But yeah, I've got a couple of shows coming up, which is really exciting. Got one at No Vacancy Gallery at the end of February, and another one as part of Brunswick Music Festival, which is in March, which is amazing actually. It's a bunch of really cool photographers who photograph women in music. Also being women photographers in Melbourne seems to be a bit of an anomaly. So it's been, yeah, really great to be included with like this lineup of incredible women who like photograph music. And yeah, it's really nice to see that the industry is slowly like making steps to change, especially like in the Australian music industry. So baby steps, but we're getting there. So that's sort of what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah,
amongst a bunch of other stuff. And yeah.
Awesome. So we are going to get into the 4 fire starters, and you can just give the first answer that comes to your mind. So the first one is dream travel location.
Ooh. I probably have to say, like, I'm caught up between, like, I want to go to Spain. I would love to go to Spain. I think that would be really beautiful. Also would really love to just go somewhere tropical, I think. Like, ready to, like, spend a holiday at the beach, because I haven't had, like, a holiday like that in a long time. It's usually traveling and seeing friends and working and doing all that stuff. But maybe, like, Hawaii or, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places I still would love to go.
So many good options. I remember, like, I lived in Spain in 2007, like, studying abroad, and it was, like, my first time away from home, and that was, like, what was the catalyst for, like, the entire, not the entire, but a lot of the design of my life now, my lifestyle of just, like, living abroad and working abroad and just being immersed in different places, and so I have a soft spot in my heart for Spain, and I went back there a few years ago, recently, and I fell in love with Portugal as well. So if you go to Spain, Portugal is like a little hidden gem that's small enough to really like explore, and just like all the different landscapes. It feels like a bit of a fairyland, and then you'll be in like a really beautiful beach, and just like kind of has it all. So highly recommend. Okay.
Amazing.
Next is favorite artist or favorite artist of the moment or whichever, however you interpret that. So like
Okay,
musician or
great. I
visual
was like,
artist
what do
or
you mean by
any...
artist? Because
Yeah.
it could mean anything.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go musical artist because I
Okay.
listen to a lot of music. Probably at the moment, I'm going to like shout out some local artists because that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
Really loving Huntley at the moment. Really loving Kait, whose music is just like fun to dance to, but also like incredibly soulful. And she's just such a talent and such a good person. So I have a lot of time for them.
Have you seen them live?
Yeah, lots of times. Yeah, she's actually got a gig coming up on the 31st of January, and she's playing with Smino.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
She's actually from my hometown of St. Louis.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, he's great. I don't know too much about him, but I really like his music. So I'm going to go see him play, and Kate supporting him, which is huge for her as well, because I know how big a fan she is of him. So I'm like,
beautiful.
this is cool.
Yeah, I saw him at Afropunk in Brooklyn in August of last year. And it was actually the first time I had even really heard of him. It's been so long since I've been kind of like in the St. Louis circuit, and like, you know, used to know like all the bigger ones back in the day and stuff, so it's nice to kind of like have another like hometown hero that's coming up, and you're like, just like listening with their vision and really good stage presence and all of that. So
Totally. Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see, like, basically everyone who I love is touring at the moment. I'm so stoked. Like, Raven Lene is also coming, and I just, like, adore her music. Like, little bub, she's only 19, and yet she's just, like, I feel like I've been following her on SoundCloud for years, and she's just got such a beautiful way of creating sound and, like, working with different textures, and this year I'm making more music is basically my plan. Just like the amount of time I spend talking about music, it's like I need to be creating it, I think, this year.
Yeah. So what do you like to sing, or what's your...
Yeah, I mean, I can sing a little, but like I'm very shy about it. It's something that I'm really working on this year, as like final frontier of getting over myself, because I've done so much work with like body image and all that sort of stuff, so I'm like good with myself now, but your voice is something that is so you, like so authentically you, that you can't really, I mean, you can change it, but like it's such an important sort of ability for you to be able to do, is use your speech, to use your music to influence people and to make them feel something. So it feels like a big scary thing for me, but it's also something I'm like working on and starting. I'm going to start singing lessons in February to properly like strengthen my voice, because I haven't sung really since high school. But I was in a lot of choirs, and I love singing. I love music. It's like the backbone of everything I do. So it's something that I'm really wanting to kind of push myself to do a bit more of and incorporate it more into my art, which I'm trying to do as well. I've actually got a meeting after this with someone who I'm going to be collaborating with for this show at No Vacancy Gallery at the end of February. I'm thinking of having like an installation with some of her music playing and then images of her. So it's going to be like a collaborative sort of piece that's going to come together.
The next Firestarter perfectly, which is dream collaboration.
Ooh,
amongst many, I'm sure.
Ooh, dream collaboration. With anyone, or like more someone local, or any?
Whichever it feels like, whether it's local or global. That's kind of like where the two pieces of this podcast come together, like locally and globally. So whichever.
Yeah, I think I'd really love to work with some friends of mine who I've made through Instagram who are in the States. My friend Grace, who has a fashion label called Disgrace, and she's been having so much success in the last year as well, and I just would love to photograph her garments. I'd love to wear her garments. Like Lizzo has worn her stuff for Pride last year, and she's just everything. And who else? Monroe Bergdorf has worn like some of her stuff, and Cupcake, and I'm just like, you are nailing this. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, so
but I also would love.
designers?
No, they're all artists that have worn her garments.
Okay.
Who I really admire, and so, yeah, I would love to to work with her stuff at some point.
Yeah. So I think I saw a photo of you in Joshua Tree. So have you been to the States
I have.
recently?
I went in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, and then before that I was in New York for a few months in 2015.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so I've got friends there.
So like LA versus New York, are you pretty...
I love New York. I don't know if I could afford to live there, but like I love it. It's hard. It's a hard city though. It's a hard city to live in. A lot of my friends have moved in the last few years. It's just too expensive. I mean, LA's the same, but LA there's a bit more space, I suppose. Or it looks like there's more space, but not everything is towered up. So I like LA for like the weather, but also for the plus size community that I have there, and the queer community that I have there. That's sort of like, there's like just, it's such a bigger city. There's more people, so there's more, I don't know, community around like plus size clothing and fashion. And I know my friend has this plus size vintage store that just does that. Nothing like that exists here. So when I went there, I was like, oh my God, I can like scroll this rack and get everything I want. That's great. So I would one day really like to do something like that here, which I'm slowly working towards as well. I just have a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm a Gemini. I have to have my hand in every pie.
When's your birthday?
May 25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And May 4th.
Oh.
May babies.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love a little Taurian.
Yeah.
I get along with a lot of Tauruses.
Yeah. Awesome. And the last pie salta is favorite Earth landscape. So like ocean, desert, forest.
Ocean.
Ocean.
Always. Yeah.
Did you grow up near the ocean? Or
No, not. I mean, like, I guess sort of. Like, my mom's from Sydney, so we'd always go up to Sydney every school holidays, or like whenever we could for holidays when I was a kid. So I was always in or around water. And I think it's just such an important, I don't know, element to exist, especially in like the so-called Australian sort of sphere. Like, it has so much to it. Like, it's calming. It's like ultimately rejuvenating. And on New Year's Day, I went to Half Moon Bay and just like skinny dipped and was like, I'm refreshing myself for the new year. This is happening. And I think it can be such an amazing, special place to recover and to take time for yourself. And it's just consistently been something that I always go to in times of crisis or times that I just want to relax, just to clear my mind and to really look out for myself.
Yeah, the waters are really quite healing.
And the land here is just so old that it's just, you feel the land, I think, which is really something special about this place. Like, it is such an old country. It is a country that we need to be taking better care of as settlers here. But yeah, there's just something really ancient about it that's just so reflective and caring. And yeah,
it is such a trip to think that it's like a continent and an island.
Exactly.
As well, just like, we're literally like completely surrounded, like the water's kind of holding us, you know?
Yeah,
so it is really, really beautiful. Country, continent, I guess, and island. Well, beautiful. So now we're going to get into the conversation with conversation series called May the 4th be with you. May the 4th, always gets a giggle, is May the 4th is my birthday, and also a reference to the Cosmic Collective, 4 is my number. So the first question I like to ask everyone is, how are you supporting the earth?
I suppose through, community, through friendship, through collaboration is sort of the way that I do that, and giving back to the communities that I'm around is sort of how I care for other people and in turn care for the earth, I suppose.
Yeah.
And also just, I guess, activism work as well, I suppose, just like little things that you can do to kind of help people in this country, especially like, I mean, it's coming up to Invasion Day. It's like a really hard time of year for a lot of Indigenous people, and it's this weird 2 weeks before Invasion Day where everyone's sort of like relaxed and calm and meant to be having the summer holidays, but then it's also the flip side is it's kind of the most horrible time of the year for a lot of people. And some friends of mine that I know are like very incredible activists within Indigenous spaces. They're the ones hosting the protest on Saturday, this coming Saturday. And I suppose my way of kind of giving back is sort of to assist as best I can, to be a voice for them, to be a white voice for them, because white privileged people listen.
Right.
And I think that is kind of my small way of, you know, helping the bigger picture and helping the earth, making sure you're tidying up after yourself, cigarette butts on the beach, put them in a bag, just like, there's so many different ways of, like, it just depends if you physically are wanting to, like, tend to the earth, or if you're wanting to tend to the communities that belong here and have been here the longest. Yeah.
Exactly. And
if that makes sense at all.
No, it makes perfect sense, and that's why I just love, like, as I was saying, how much I love this question, is because so many people come from, it's such a personal kind of like acquisition to yourself, you know, like what resonates within you, and that reciprocity and how connected we all are, like to the land and to each other, and to the animals and just humanity. And so I think there's a lot of different ways to be supporting the earth, be supporting ourselves and our brothers and sisters and the earth. So
yeah, it's such an expansive question. It's kind of hard to answer.
I know. It is a bit expensive, and I didn't necessarily intend for that when I first came
But
up
I think
with
that's
it.
the good thing about it as well. It's like you can
Exactly.
take it any way you want.
Exactly. And it's always a different answer. So, I wanted to ask you next, because you have such a large kind of platform and following with Dumb Plastic, and I was wondering if you feel any kind of, as you were saying about, like, you know, your activism and different stuff with the community, if you feel any kind of, if you feel like it's gotten greater than you in a way, like, do you feel any responsibility to the communities that you do support that way, or like to kind of keep going, keep up with it, kind of keep it relevant?
Definitely, to stay relevant is such a thing. Like, for sure, I've definitely felt that. Like, I think everyone feels that if you've got an online platform, is the constant need to be relevant in order to be seen as, you know, important or interesting and authentic. And it's like, if you're constantly being authentic and vulnerable, you're not really being authentic and vulnerable, because you're just putting stuff out there. Actually, no, that's not true. You can do that. But I find it a little bit, I get a bit burnt out from it. And I think showing up in real life ways is more important. Online activism is of course very important and necessary for getting that reach. But I also feel like, you need to be showing up in real life. You need to be showing up for your friends, showing up for community, showing up for, you know, those people who mean something to you, or you might not even know, but you want to support, you know? I think that makes sense.
No, it does. And I've been having this conversation a lot as, like, you know, things just heightened in this online world. Now we feel like we need to be so plugged in, and people are doing so much stuff kind of behind the scenes in real life that they don't necessarily get credit for or get acknowledgement about.
And also, people are wanting to see this end product. It's like they're not particularly interested in seeing the production of it, like seeing the process of you getting to where you have been, or where you're going. And I think that can be really, like, not helpful for a lot of people, because it's sort of like you're seeing this end product that's amazing, but you're also then in turn judging yourself for not being good enough, or it's like this platform can have so many amazing, incredible things and connections, but it can also be the worst. For your own, I don't know, your own self, I guess.
And when you get burnt out, do you just kind of disconnect completely?
Yeah, I've been feeling that a lot recently. I've just sort of been trying to post when I actually want to post, not when the algorithm is going to be showing my post at the most convenient time, and that, because I realized it put restriction on myself, it put restriction on my creativity, and it made me lose some of the excitement of why I was posting in the first place, why I was trying to connect with people and show off fashion. And I think the medium has changed so much as well in the last couple of years, through algorithms and shadow banning and all this sort of stuff, and just this intense censorship of bodies, and especially of women's bodies and like non-binary bodies, and it's bullshit, frankly. It's so frustrating. And then to see Tumblr do it as well, it was like Tumblr was the place that I started off my like my presence. It's where I got a lot of my following initially. And so there's a lot of plus size community and queer community on that platform that now it's not really existing because people are censoring the most benign photos that aren't even sexual in nature, but because there are nipples on display, of course they're going to be seen as sexual. And it's like, why is the body seen as sexual in this way? Like, it's not fair.
Yeah, they really try to take away like all the autonomy.
Yeah, and it's also like, it's also really transphobic as well, because it's like, are you assessing the same sort of nipples on trans bodies? Like, how do you regulate that? You shouldn't be regulating it in the first place, because everyone has nipples and it's fine.
Everyone has nipples. Say it again. Everyone has nipples.
So it's just ridiculous. Yeah. I always forget the camera's there because I'm so used to doing like listening to podcasts and being audio. So now I'm just like, oh, that's right. I have to look at the camera and hello.
It's all good. It's all good. They can see us. I feel it.
Great. I'm just like too involved in talking straight to you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. That's why I only want to do any interviews that are face to face. It's like a big part of what I'm trying to create with this series. So yeah. Continue. But
yeah. So I guess that's sort of where everything began. So it's just been hard to love the platform as much as I used to because of community, because of all these people I met, and because you like supported each other so intensely. And now because the algorithms have changed, as well as the influencer culture has changed, it's not as fun and supportive as it used to be, because you're not respected for your time a lot. Like, people assume you're going to do a lot of stuff for free, because if you say no, they can just get someone else who's going to do it for free, because they don't know any better, because they don't know their worth. And I think there's a lot of upcoming influencers who are doing all of that stuff for free, and it's kind of creating this culture of like free product for pay, free product as pay, which is fine if you have a full-time job, but if you're doing this full-time, that's not something that's going to be sustainable for you. So it's frustrating is what I'll call it.
And I feel like it's almost like influencers become like such a bad or negative word, when it's really just depending on like what you're supporting, what you're aligning with.
That's it. And it's so funny because I remember I only heard the word influencer when I was in LA in 2017, and now it's just like taken off, and I'm like, oh, I mean, it makes sense because you are influencing people, but it's taken on this whole new thing where, I don't know, anyone can be an influencer. And I'm like, which is great. I want that. That sounds perfect to me. But it's also, I don't know, it's creating this more, I don't know, at least with brands, it's creating this weird dynamic where they're not seeing influencers as models, or they're not seeing them as worth their money. And, you know, I think that can be problematic.
We'll see how this just continues to evolve. 2019. It's
Honestly.
Really wild.
I know. I think I'm just gonna take it slow, post what I want to post.
Exactly.
Unless I have some sort of media deal, which would be great. We'd love that, but we'll get there.
We'll see. Calling it in.
Yeah.
So the next question. So I have this bag of questions, and actually Laura has already picked.
I already picked it.
Lucky number 20. And so the corresponding question was, what is like your favorite conscious business or brand at the moment?
Is it a cop-out if I say Remuse?
No! We all support Remuse. Yes, Queen. Queen Tamara.
Because she makes beautiful clothes that fit everyone and they feel beautiful. So like, why would I not want that?
And such an, like, that's what I love too about the Melbourne Fashion Festival last year. Such an inclusive runway. Such, like, it's wearable art.
It's comfortable as well, like, which is like, and it feels good quality, and it's like gonna last. It's not just a piece you wear once. It's like something that you're gonna keep for a while, which I really like. What else is there? There's like, I mean, I feel like I'm just like talking about all the brands that I've worked with because they're actually just really good brands. But
probably many people that are listening or thinking don't know
That's
them.
true.
So,
That's true.
do you want to encourage?
There's House of Dizzy, which is an Indigenous jewelry brand, and they make really cute pieces. They're actually wearing this at the moment. So they make really cute.
I love how it had the heart on top too.
Yeah, and so she makes all
House
these
of
really
Dizzy?
House of Dizzy, yeah.
Okay.
And they make all sorts of different earrings. They make a lot of Indigenous earrings with like different clan names and Indigenous flag earrings and all this sort of stuff. And it's super cute. It's just, and Chrissy, who's behind it, is just like an angel of a person. So it's just like good person, good brand. Yeah, she deserves it.
Let's make sure to put all of these in the show notes so you guys can go look up, discover some of this magic for yourself. And then the last question I always like to end with is, what is the last thing that really made you smile or laugh? Probably my dog, because I have a dog now.
What kind of dog?
I have a puppy. His name is Freckle, and they are a Jack Russell Cross Staffy.
Oh!
They're really little, but they're thick.
Oh my goodness. We have my family has a Jack Russell Terrier that's 8 named Bernie, and he's such a Bernie. He's such a little, he's like hell on wheels, but he's the cutest thing. He's like such a cute puppy, so I can imagine.
He's a lot of energy, but they're very cute.
Yes, so much energy.
Went to the park yesterday, made friends with the Chow Chow, which was very cute.
Oh.
So yeah, that probably my dog would make me smile and also irritate the hell out of me.
Yes.
It's a beautiful relationship we have. Probably like when he like ran around the house and then walked into the glass door. By walk, I mean ran full pace into the door, and I laughed because I'm a terrible person. And then checked that they were okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've laughed a time or two when I've seen someone trip, and I do feel bad because it's But I'm glad to hear someone admit that like there's like a slight little bit of like joy in seeing something like that happen. So, it's life. It's all one big experiment. We're out here. Well, thank you so much. Can you tell people to connect more with this beautiful human, where people can find you?
Find me online. My socials, like Instagram is fantastic. Or if you want to find, actually, just go to fantastic because I've got all the links in my bio. What else? My website is laurenjaphoto.com if you want to book me for any photo shoots.
Yeah.
I do all sorts. Fashion, editorial, portraiture, events.
She's amazing.
She does it all.
She really does do it all.
To join the community or submit on-air podcast questions, you can find my Instagram at davycreative_. And please leave a review wherever you listen to this soul podcast. You are so appreciated. You can access full-length soul interview videos on my YouTube channel, Davy Creative. The links will all be in the show notes. Thank you for vibing with me. Again, this is Art of Soul Living by Davy Creative. Paz y amor.